have an AI software where it's basically just negotiates all the deals for you. So it's a CRM. You add the property in from leads feed, which is basically like our version of Privy, PropWire, PropStream, data source. When the lead adds in, it adds all the information from the agent and the listing. And then depending on what automations you have going on, it'll either auto calculate based on what the listing price is, or you can go in and comp and then add a certain math equation to auto populate when you put in ARV or whatever. Then once you get that in, it sends a letter of intent. The letter of intent goes out to the agent with a SMS.
200K and you're ready to move forward at that today.
Absolutely. A lot of people, in my opinion, should not be wholesale.
And this goes back to just being a quality fucking person, doing quality business, guys.
Just be a good person.
Exactly. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Deal Room. I'm Matt Walton with my co-host Eva. How you doing, Eva?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good
How's
to
your
see
week been?
I went to Disney yesterday.
You just went to Disney
Yeah, I just went to Disney.
after our podcast? Really?
I just said, this was enough work for today.
Okay. Just by yourself as an adult?
No, I went with my bestie. We went and checked all the Christmas shit.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, I'm excited. We did a podcast yesterday together. This podcast here and hopefully release sometime in January too. We got a great guest, somebody who's I met at a mastermind a long time ago. How many years ago was that? 4 or 5 years at least? 3 years? It's been, I don't know, it's been like 3 years.
Yeah.
At the time when I met you, Remy, though, you were, I think you were like 18 or 19
Yep.
in the game. And so, guys, we got Remy, how do you say your last name? Rialt?
Yep. On the money.
Perfect. Remy Rialt right here. He's got, young, he's only 21 years old, killing the game of real estate. He just moved over to Tampa too. How you doing, Remy?
Doing good, man. All glory to God. Feel great.
Yes, sir.
Doing good.
Awesome, man. So, yeah, tell me about your journey in real estate here and what you're currently doing.
Yeah. So currently, we built a company. Real estate is fun. We built that up to $1 million company. We had grown it to like I think a 7-person team, and recently just decided to split away from that partnership and create a new venture. So right now, kind of just building brick by brick, mainly doing dispo at the moment, and I have a lead act guy as well. It's bringing in deals, and then gonna take the agent route to get going for the time being and do dispo, and then venture off into direct to seller in a few months.
Okay, so you guys are doing mostly dispo for other wholesalers right now? JD?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so tell us the ins and out of working with other people. Because I'll be nice and say it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot, it's a lot of stuff you have to go through. So tell us kind of your goods and bads about working with other wholesalers.
Yeah, goods and bads. So I'm very selective on who I work with.
Hmm.
I'd rather have, 2 or 3 solid people than 10, 20 kind of, I guess, people that need more time spent with them, more management, more helping out. Um, I've obviously had good and bad experiences working with other people. I honestly don't like working with newer people. I'd rather kind of work with the people that already know what they're doing. They know how to run numbers, and everything, contract is done correctly. Everything is in alignment so that we just have to sell the deal. So that's kind of who I'm working with now, is just people that know kind of what they're doing and kind of all inbound. So the people that I work with know kind of what I do, my reputation and stuff like that. So I have a few, 2, 3 people that I'm doing dispo with on their deals, but I don't honestly take on the newer people or anything like that, just because the amount of time that I spend or have spent in the past trying to train and coach these people, it's not worth the squeeze. As much as I want to help people, I also have to protect my time in order to have the best results, right? Because I'm not trying to work 24/7 and I guess make little money. I need to make the most money in the, I guess, most effective with my time and
Yep.
strategic with my time.
Yep.
So that's why I'm kind of very picky about who I work with.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you have to. That's obviously super important is to protect your time in this game. When people need help, which is a good thing to help people out, but a lot of times it can be very time sucking. You know about help people from start to finish?
Yeah, I help a lot of beginners, and
Yeah.
I feel exactly what you're talking about. It can be hard and very tedious, and it's time consuming, and sometimes it's I don't want to say a waste, but basically I don't have another word for it, a waste. A lot of people will come in, you'll give them a bunch of time, and then they kind of just disappear.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the hard things, especially when you build what we're building too is like a free community of people. And you hear people complain all the time about like people who charge for communities and stuff. And they're always like, "Oh, you're just trying to make money off people," and things like, "Well, no, like I'm sure there are people that are trying to just make money off them." But the fact is that people who actually put the money into things tend to put a little more effort towards it
Yeah.
versus people who just want to get stuff for free. They unfortunately tend to complain a lot more, and then they also just kind of not be as serious and not take it as serious. And when things get hard, they kind of roll out. And so you put a lot of time and your effort into it. So you got to protect that time. So we agree with you on that for sure.
Indeed. Yeah.
So you just moved over to Tampa, and is that the market you currently work in? Are you only in Tampa, or are you doing it everywhere else?
So I'm actually in Jacksonville, Florida. That's where I just came from. So all my business is there right now, just because I mean, I have my buyers there, I have my relationships there. I know the market inside and out. I lived there for about 3 years, so I was able to kind of get my roots there and just put the people in place. Um, I can identify a good deal there pretty easy, and I can sell a deal there pretty easy as well. So my plan is to build there as it's like I already know it. I have the connections and then branch out over here. As I'm building over there, you know, sometimes I do need the people to go out to the properties or do some in-person stuff, but thankfully I have the people in place to do that. And then I came over here because I noticed it's a pretty good market. Some of my friends are having really good success over here as well. So I plan to kind of duplicate that over here, just get in person and meet a bunch of people, get connected to the buyers, to the agents, to just everybody, title companies, just everything. And when I set up my operation out there, I kind of plan to duplicate that same thing out here. I really like the in-person stuff. It's just a way to stand out from everybody else.
So Remy, have you ever met Eva before? Because she is a big player in those markets too.
Nice.
So
I
there
have
you
not.
go. Well, there's a connection right there. Eva does deals. I don't know if you've heard about her software that she has. I'll let her explain a little bit about it. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I have an AI software where it's basically just negotiates all the deals for you. So it's a CRM. You add the property in from leads feed, which is basically like our version of Privy, PropWire, PropStream, data source. When the lead adds in, it adds all the information from the agent and the listing. And then, depending on what automations you have going on, it'll either auto calculate based on what the listing price is, or you can go in and comp and then add a certain math equation to auto populate when you put in ARV or whatever. Then once you get that in, it sends a letter of intent. The letter of intent goes out to the agent with a SMS letting them know, like, hey, we sent you a letter of intent. Then the agent usually responds over SMS, and then they negotiate back and forth, and it's the AI who takes over from that point and runs the whole conversation.
Yeah.
Nice. Sounds cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had to, after this, I had to hit you up on that. Kind of check it out.
Yeah, it's a whole tech system. It's awesome. It allows. She did a TikTok challenge with 10K in 10 days. You end up making a lot more than that in 10
Yeah,
days.
18.
18,000 in 10 days, which is pretty fast. Yeah,
That's
which is
crazy.
awesome.
Nice.
So I want to know about your process here because starting off anew, you've already been successful with another company and everything what you guys did. We don't know the reason why you guys split, but now we're coming to the point where you're building it back up. So I'm curious about your steps in that process because a lot of people are starting to build something and trying to build something and learn more about how to build wholesale companies. You're obviously coming in this with experience when you're building this up for yourself, but like just talk about your process here and what you go through when you build.
Yeah, so funny enough, I think that it's a lot easier now with the clean plate rather than, what we built trying to undo things and then redo things. And it's just, now I feel with the experience, I feel a lot better now because I think one of the biggest problems in scaling or building a team is that oftentimes what at least I found for myself is that I got caught in the same position for way too long, and it kept me from growing further, getting to the next level. Um, for example, even for dispo, I was stuck in that seat for 2 years. So if I had a roadmap as to when I was going to hire out for that and move on to the next thing and what that next thing was, I would be much further along, right? So now that I am starting from scratch, I am laying out the roadmap from not start to finish, but from start to the next, say 4 or 5 steps, and how long I'm going to be in each seat for, and what's needed in order to get myself out of that seat. Because I'm looking to build a business and a company. I'm not looking to build, a forever job for myself. I don't mind working. I don't mind hustling. I love it. I just want to continue to build because that's what I love. If I stay in the same seat too long, I get burnt out. So I know, with me knowing my personality as well, that I need continuous change. Um, so basically, like the big difference for me is that just having a clear layout. For example, I'm starting with dispo, uh, and I know at the moment it's taking a lot of time. It's taking most of my day. So what I'm gonna do with that is slim that down to a smaller buyers list and go more relationship heavy, where I have 20, 30 buyers that pretty much buy everything in solid, where I can just shoot a text and get feedback that they know it's feedback, and create that, I guess, dispo for a relationship game rather than like a management thing, so that I can go build what's over here. So basically, I know I'm going on a tangent, but I get excited about this stuff. So basically, like the big difference is I can look at it from a bird eyes view, looking down and see the big picture and go step by step how long it needs to be without the emotion tied to it of saying, hey, this is my seat. I own this. This is what I do. Um, yeah, it's just a lot easier that way in building a company rather than the hustle. It's easy to get stuck in that seat. And yeah, just realizing how much time each thing takes, what I need in order to take myself out of that seat and move to the next thing. So I don't know if that kind of answered your question, but
No, it does. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You did. I mean, I think that's important to say is because a lot of people, when you do this, like when you first start, you just are stuck in the hustle of things, right? You have to wear every hat. Like you're making the calls, you're trying to get the deals locked up, you're trying to find the buyers, you're trying to dispo, you're trying to do certain things. You might have a partner, but you're stuck in one aspect of your business, right? And you said that you love to hustle, and the thing about it is, a lot of people think that if you hire somebody to replace you, that the hustle stops, but it doesn't. You got to change your hustle to a different thing, which is now how do I grow my business? Now my hustle is how do I get more people into my business and grow it further. And
yes,
so you just got yourself out of the, like you said, the job part of it, which everyone has to do when they start. Because me and Eva have both had too many people who expect just to hire people right away and have them do the job for them when they have no idea what they're doing or what their plan is or anything like that. They just think that someone's going to come in like a VA is going to make them a bunch of money while they sit back and just chill. And
yeah,
that's not how this works. This game doesn't work that way. So we like the fact that you're saying, hey, look, I'm gonna get into it because I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do the work. I'm gonna build out the process. I'm gonna go through the trenches. I'm gonna get told no and yes and get deals done. And I'm gonna have my process written down. So then you just bring somebody else in and say, all right, this is what I did. Just do the same thing.
yeah,
Now let me go and work on this part of my business where I build this up now.
yep,
Right? We got done. Me and Eva talked to John Galan in them and Helena. We talked to both of them. And their whole business model was based off of JVs for the most part, and then they built that up very, very successfully, and then they started doing some agent stuff. But they've really now recently pushed into PPC ads
yep.
and stuff like that. But what I thought was very interesting, I think Eva, you think the same thing too, is that John's taking the calls.
Yeah, he's handling all the beginner stuff first. But I think that's great because that's how you perfect it to then teach it to someone else so that they can take that seat so that you can then move on like you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So he took on the role. He's like, all right, I'm going to make these calls because when I get somebody else to take over my spot on this, which eventually will happen, I know you can be successful in this because I was successful in this. This is all you have to do is follow what I did.
Yep. Yeah, that's key, man. It's really key because I tried the other way, Uh, one thing in our company is that finding people is pretty easy. Like finding people and talent is pretty easy. So we had too much of it. We had too much people, too many people, too much talent. but we didn't have any systems and processes. So we'd be like, we bring someone in, be like, hey, go do this, try it out right the seller, and we never did it. And I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, you can't do that because one, you're not confident in what the results are going to be. So how can you expect it from anyone else? You don't have any KPIs, any training, anything like that. So you're no use to them. How can you expect somebody to do something that you haven't done? It doesn't make sense. You just can't do that. Um, yeah, I think it's like you need to be in every single position, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's something that you're not very skilled at least you understand what it is and the struggles that come with it as well. Because if you're looking in from the outside and you've never done that before, there may be certain struggles that you're beating this person up for not performing, but you've never done it. So you don't understand what it is. You don't know proper expectations. You don't know any of that. So yeah, you need to be in every single seat. Is highly important.
Yeah, or find a partner that's been in that seat too, right? Because I mean, you can't learn everything for the most part. Like I'm not gonna go in. I'm not gonna go and learn how to run ads when I start doing PPC. Like that would be dumb for me to do that. So I'll partner with somebody or pay a company that knows how to do that and expectations. One of the first podcasts we released was William Yu, and I've been talking to him lately, and because we're thinking about moving that into that vertical also to get some extra leads in, right? And so I asked him, I was like, all right, cool. Tell me about the most successful sales process you have and who's doing really well with that. Because I want to replicate something like that and build that out. Because I've done direct to seller on a few deals here and there, but I'm not an expert in direct to seller. That's a different sales process than it is with agents. That's more emotional. That's more like you got to deal with a bunch of stuff that's going on there and really connect with somebody in order for them to go with you versus the thousands of other people they're talking to, potentially. And so it's a different aspect. So I can't bring somebody in to take over my direct to seller side of things because I don't know what to do. So I talked to him about that and that process is getting built out. And so I'll find a partner for that. And it sounds like you with Seth, right? I know Seth. As Seth is kind of doing the acquisitions. Now you've done acquisitions before, but you have him helping out on one side while you focus on the dispo side. That's how you're running it. I think that's important too. I think when I first started, I had no idea there was two different sides between wholesaling. I just thought it was all one thing. You had to do both. You had to get it under contract, and you had to find a buyer for that contract. And now me and Eva teach like, hey, look, focus on one side of things. Focus on dispo. Focus on acquisitions, and then find somebody else to help that side of it. Would you agree, Eva? You're on and off mute.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Did you just see the screen tweak out? Was that just me?
That was just you, yeah. Just
Oh my
using that
gosh,
for
the thing was going. I was like, what's happening? No, I agree. Yeah, you need to have mastered one skill before you move on to the next, because otherwise you don't know what you're doing. And I mean, you can't teach someone to do something else, like you said, if you don't even know what you're doing. So how do you expect any results? It's just like the two of you are just kind of sitting around, throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing what sticks, and then maybe something does, maybe it doesn't. It's a learning situation for both of you. And I think if you're trying to be the manager of that person where they're under you and you guys are both kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall, I find that to be a harder situation than if you're in a partnership.
Yeah, absolutely. So Remy, I mean, you're a perfect example of this on dispo stuff. We recently over the last like 5 or 6 months have really been diving into Jacksonville. We've gotten deals closed there so far. I have a VA that runs that market. But like I sent you a deal recently because we don't know all the areas of the market. So we're learning from dispo wholesalers. So we're learning from you guys who are in the trenches who know what's going on in the market. So we'll send you a deal and say, hey, look, what do you think about this deal? And you can tell me like, hey, this deal sucks. And this is why this deal sucks. And so that helps us learn, right? I think people are scared to talk to other people about it or partner with people on it. I don't care about giving half my fee up or part of my fee to you for helping me get this deal done. I'll take half of something versus 100% of zero, right?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
when you work with other people, so give us a little bit about your, I know you're not looking for new people, but like, is there parameters that you set for people that you work with?
I mean, yes and no. It's not something that I really have written down, but just kind of, off the top of
Feel
my
like,
head, just someone that has experience. Like, learning the market is fine. I don't mind kind of dealing with that or providing feedback or anything like that. I guess more so, even with that, like somebody being open-minded, if you are coming into a market that I'm in and I do know the market, if, for example, you send me a deal and then I give you feedback and then you try to argue with me on why it's a deal and me knowing the market, it's not a deal and I'm just trying to help you and then you're trying to sell me on why it is a deal. knowing that it's not a deal.
Yeah.
I can't stand that.
Yeah.
Um, so just stuff, I guess, like that. So parameters to work with. I mean, just I guess having some deals under your belt, knowing how the transaction works, because I don't want to babysit during the transaction. I want to just get it sold and move to the next. If we're gonna work together, send it over. I'll provide you feedback, and then go negotiate, do what you gotta do. I don't mind underwriting stuff, but yeah, just more so not sending leads that you haven't called yet, not sending leads that
Yes.
it's just like, hey, I just got this in. Can you comp it? Give me a number, and I'll see. It's not a deal; it's a lead. So you got to handle the leads on yourself, like yourself. And then when you have deals or you're about to get it under contract for sure, that's when I can help. But again, I think that also comes with some experience too, because I feel like a lot of the newbie wholesalers are like, hey, I got this lead. Can you check it out? And like it's just a lead. I probably already offered on it. So it's like if you're gonna get a contract, then get a contract and we can work it together. If you're about to get something accepted and you want double check on numbers, you can do that. But yeah, just someone that has a little bit of experience, if that kind of clears it up.
It does. It's important to say because you have the people that are scared to make their offers or scared to like have the conversation until you tell them what a number would be because they're worried about canceling and things like that. And it's frustrating because we have a lot of deals coming our way and a lot of things that we're constantly looking at, which a lot of properties coming in. Our team is working on a bunch of stuff, and for us to now have to handle your leads also and then tell you where it's at. It's not the right way to go about it. Now, there are right ways to do it where like you said, you're close to coming under contract, you just want to check the numbers real quick, like you actually done the work in the beginning of it, or you have it under contract already, which is even better. It's okay if you're too high. I don't think you mind. I don't mind in saying like, hey, this is where we need it at, right? You have it under contract, you've done the work for it, you're learning, that's okay, but you've actually put the effort in and get things moving.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of people are scared about that. Look, the truth is we get deals locked up too high sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I said, Remy, I just sent you one that was too high, right? We locked it up at the price we probably should have sold it at, or at least close to the price we should have sold it at, which was a problem. We ended up canceling that deal, which was fine. It just happens, right? It just didn't work for them, didn't work for us. We cancel, we move on. A lot of people get a lot of fear with that about what's going to happen if I lock up a deal too high, or if I can't sell it, or am I going to get in trouble, or am I going to look bad, or people not like. Don't worry about that. Like it goes through a process of you learning. You could get lucky and then somebody finds it. But I think if you have to try and going back to the other point, if you have to try and convince somebody that your deal is good, it's not a good deal.
Yeah.
The numbers have to work. It's not an emotional thing about it. Like for the most part, everyone just looks at the deal. Does the numbers work? Yes, I'll buy it. The numbers don't work, I won't buy it. Like it's that simple.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, keep it simple. I see that too oftentimes. Like people are scared of making an offer. And I feel like the real way that you're gonna learn is by just making offers, canceling contracts. Like you said, we cancel contracts too. Even though we know the market really, really well, there's still times where like, oh snap, we missed that, or still sometimes Jacksonville is really weird. So I might have a house that looks really good on paper, and for
Yeah.
some reason it won't sell
Yep.
anywhere close to what we got it for. That just happened. We just had a deal where the numbers made sense selling it at 365. We just sold it for 325. And the ARV is like 550, and it's a normal, at least I thought it was like 550. Not a heavy rehab, probably like 60, 70K. And that's in my own backyard. So there are stuff that we had to renegotiate 30, 40K sometimes, or just cancel if it doesn't work. So the fear of that is just something that's holding you back. And regardless of what level you're at, you're going to cancel contracts. You're going to have to renegotiate. We at least want to try our best. Now, I think this is where it's wrong is if you lock up a contract knowing you're way, way too high, as long as you're confident that you could probably sell it to some extent and it makes sense to you at the time, and you don't go into it with any bad intention of I'm gonna lock this up 40K too high and then cancel. Like that's bad. That's gonna give us all a bad name. So please don't do that. But if you go in and you try your best with the knowledge that you have to lock up a deal and try to sell it, and you just happen to be off on the numbers, use it as a learning lesson. Don't beat yourself up because we all do it. So it's very normal in this industry. even end buyers and flippers and everybody in the industry cancels contracts. It's just a name of the game.
Yeah, it happens. Retail buyers, they cancel contracts all the time. You
All
have
the
too many, I don't know how many agents we talk to, like, I don't work with investors because, they don't close on deals. Like, are you telling me that no retail contracts ever backed out on you? That's a lie. You do not work with anybody who does retail contracts because somebody's backed out on you before. Like, it happens. It's part of the game. Yeah, and I think a lot of fear for people too is that they're scared of how low their offer is.
yeah.
I think a lot of people freak out about that. And then they talk themselves out of that into a higher number
Yeah.
because they're like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to offer 100K below this asking price. They're gonna be mad at me for that. And then they talk themselves up 50K or whatever and make a lock a bad deal up because they're worried about that. I mean, yeah, I mean, Eva just right off the bat was like, yeah, I'm going 70K below your asking price, like right away.
We did like a little challenge on the podcast, the last one, where we were like, okay, let's do rock paper scissors. Whoever wins gets to pick the property. The loser has to call the property. And so I was like, well, are we gonna comp the property? Do we know the number? He was like, oh, I could comp it right now while you call. I was like, we're offering 70K, 100K under asking.
Yeah,
Like,
just go ahead
we're
and
just throwing that number
right
out
off
there.
the rip. Yeah,
He comped it though, and I was pretty close.
yeah,
So
and it
I
works
just know
out.
the market.
Yeah, look, I mean, I tell people this story about it. Like asking prices like this, it's like if you went to 7-Eleven, I don't know if you have 7-Elevens there, right? That's the thing. All right, a convenience store or whatever, gas station, and you went to go buy a candy bar, and that guy was like, $20 for this candy bar. Would you go, oh man, I don't want to offend him by my offer, so I'm gonna pay $19 for it. Like, no, it ain't worth $19. You know what I mean? Like, it's not worth that. You're gonna pay what it's worth. I'm gonna offer you $1. That's what it's worth. Like, I don't know what it is now with inflation, but still, it's like, yeah, it's you're gonna offer what the actual property's worth. So don't be scared about that. Like, people have ridiculous asking prices in their head all the time. And so they can just base it off whatever they want to, Zillow's estimate, whatever it is. It doesn't mean that they're right about things. And so you can't be scared about offering that price. And I've talked to too many agents that have come back to me months later who've gotten so mad at me for how offensive my offer was, have asked me if my offer's still good.
Yep.
3 months later, you
Yeah.
know what? Actually,
Yeah. We're starting to see what it looks like now. My CMA wasn't good.
It happens all the time. We see it all the time too. In the beginning, they'll tell us screw off, and
Yeah.
then 2, 3 months later, they're like, "Hey, Remy, how you been, man?" They realize, I mean, through a period of time and so many offers, they're gonna get, especially if it's a piece of crap house, they're gonna get offers that are around your price,
Hmm.
and enough of those, they'll start to realize that, along with the amount of days on market, is going to sit. They're going to get the same amount of offers, and they'll eventually realize, hey, we cannot sell it for what we listed it for. We listed it way too high.
Hmm.
The problem is, though, that oftentimes what happens is that the agent just overpromises a price that they could sell it for, and that's where the aggravation comes in. It's not more so of your number, it's the aggravation that the agent promised way too high of a listing price and sale price, and they're not able to perform. So them seeing all the low offers come in, it's kind of like they have to go back and let them know at some point, if they're a good agent, that they messed up and that this is the real price that they have to sell the house for. And they're likely worried about their credibility and their relationship with the seller. Um, and that's usually where the problem comes from. Now the seller could be out to lunch, that happens too. Um, but
My
oftentimes,
neighbor's house sold for this much money, so mine should sell for this much.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
But the agent will tell you that too. Like if you're working with agents, you say, "Hey, just curious, so I'm not missing anything. How did you come up with the asking price?" And they'll tell you, "Hey, yeah, the seller's out to lunch. I know it's too high." Or they'll say, "Hey, I saw a couple that sold." They'll tell you who's tripping,
Yeah.
either them or the seller.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think that's kind of where it comes from. If the agent listed it and it's too high, I think it's just the aggravation that they overpromised, underdelivered, and they had to face that reality. So don't
Yeah.
take it
I didn't
personal.
think about it that way too, about the agent being upset they have to go and tell their client that too. I just know that, there's so many agents out there, and it's, I think the majority of agents don't do deals in general. So when you finally get that listing appointment and that seller is maybe asking way too high, a lot of times agents will just say yes because they just want to get that listing appointment and cross their fingers that things will go well. Instead of being the good agent that says, no, that's not going to work. Like, I'm going to tell you based off the data. of where your house should sell, and based off the condition of your house, this is where it should sell. A lot of agents don't do that. They're just like, "Yep, I'll throw it on the market and we'll see what happens," and then they get upset about that. Same with the sellers also. You gotta have the conversation. I think what you said is important. Is don't be scared to call or ask the questions to call them out and call themselves out on it. Because how often, I mean, Eva, you've seen this too. How often do we talk to agents and they send you some comps that are ridiculous comps? Like you have a house built in 1920, and like, oh, look at this new build that sold down the street for 225 or 225 build and sold for this much money.
I don't even ask them.
Yeah,
I'm like, please don't send me your comps. I don't even want to know.
yeah.
Like, because if they do, it's like across the highway and it's a fucking different build or something. I'm just like, this doesn't even. It's like a brand new wholesaler. I'm just like, this isn't. But you can't teach it. You could teach a brand new wholesaler,
Sometimes.
and they'll be open to it and they'll work with you. An agent, forget that. That's just an argument. I just don't even want to see their comps. I'm like, nah, it's all right. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll ask sometimes. And Remy, I'm sure you ask, like, just to kind of, because sometimes we're like, hey, look, this is why I'm not using that comp. Like, this is why I'm not, this is why my offer is where it is. You guys are thinking this price because of these. These don't make sense. These houses sell for more. We're over here because of this comp. Like, this is why we're lower. And then, yeah, most agents be like, whatever, and they get all mad about that. And some agents will be like, I see what you're saying. It's very rare. Yeah.
Typical agent. Yeah. We stopped asking for comps. We used to do it and we used to have those conversations, but a lot of them just have egos and they say my broker taught me how to run a CMA and this and that. And
I've been doing this for 25 years.
yeah, I've been doing it 25 years, but I
Yeah.
only closed 20 houses.
Yeah. That's the best one.
One a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. So yeah, we stopped having those conversations. If I'm gonna ask, I'm probably gonna set it up front, like, hey, are you following, appraisal rules to come up with those comps, or are you just running a CMA? Sometimes it'll stop them in their tracks.
Yeah. It's always a CMA for the most part. They rely on that, which is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably, if I looked at it, no, I haven't had a lot of agent conversations lately, which is great because my team takes care of that for me. But if I looked at it, I'm sure my team has stopped having those conversations for the most part. They're just like, all right, you don't want the offer? Cool, I'll talk to you in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Just send a follow up. All right, is your offer still good? Are you available? Are still available? No? Okay. See you in another 3 weeks. Like it's that when you get to a point of doing deals consistently, you want to do deals consistently, we don't get stuck on any deal. We don't get stuck on any offer. We don't get stuck on any of that. It's just we're gonna put it out there. If it comes to us, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We just move on. Right? All right, so tell me about the dispo side of things that we're working on right now. Because I think it's really important that you said that. There's two different thoughts of dispo, I think, maybe more than that. But one is that you go wide and you find as many buyers as possible, and you find people who are doing all types of strategies. Then there's yours too, which is like, hey, I'm going to build the most solid relationship with a good amount of buyers, a small amount of buyers that I know take care of everything, and so that way I know what they're buying, and I can just place the properties in their lap. Tell me about the thought process between the relationship building that you're going off now, and then how you're doing that.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously both strategies work. Um, I think that having a wide or a large buyers list, there's more room for error. There's more room for fall through, more room for headaches, based on experience. Um, I enjoy the relationship part better because sometimes, and through my time working with my guys, if I provide them consistent deals, oftentimes if I'm a little bit too high on a deal, they'll squeeze to make it work based on our relationship. Whereas if we don't have that relationship, then that deal is not going to go through. Also, too, just having those buyers, a tight relationship with those buyers allows me to receive feedback fairly quickly and directly versus blasting it to a massive list and everyone going ghost, like a ghost town. I don't hear anything. How I'm going about it is just looking at who has been the smoothest and easiest person to work with and also paying a good amount on every deal. So I have obviously my list of like 800 buyers in Jacksonville, which I'm not going to completely discount that. I'm still going to keep that around, right? But it's going to go through a sequence of, I guess, like a path. Like my first step is to send it directly to my relationships. And if I could sell it right then and there, cool. I just sold a deal in 5 minutes. Done. and I know it's going to close. I know the assignment's going to get signed right away. I know the EMD is going to be in, and I don't have to worry about anything. My TC is going to handle everything. I'll collect the check. Take me 5, 10 minutes. If it doesn't sell, and I believe it's kind of a little bit of a funky house that doesn't really fit my guys, but maybe it's like a pad splitter or something random that not a lot of people mess with. And I strongly believe it's a deal. Again, this kind of goes back to me just knowing the market. Um, like the one we just sold yesterday, the one that was at 325 or 355, dropped it down to 325. I knew it was a deal, but my VIPs weren't biting at it just because the type of area that it's in is just a little strange. So that one I did blast out to my list of 700 people, and I ended up finding a pad split buyer. So I think for the relationships, that's like step one. And then if I strongly believe that it's a deal, then I will still continue and blast it out, to the larger list. But it's going to be step one, step two, and then step three, finding new buyers after that. If I strongly, truly believe it's a deal. But I think very quickly, whenever you send out a deal, you realize a deal, if it's a deal or not, once you send it out, because either people will be blowing up your phone or nobody will be blowing up your phone. And like I said, I don't want to create it as a management role, especially with me doing it right now. I need to have the best use of my time. So I also need to do dispo, but also look forward to building AC as well. So I don't want to manage it. And if I blast it out to 700 people and they're all telling me how shit my deal is, then I don't want to deal with that. It's just a lot of management. So how I'm going to go about it is just based off who I've already met. I know a lot of them in person. It's the same like 10, 20 people that are consistently buying multiple properties per month. They're always in the game no matter what the market is. They're solid, they're good. So I'm just gonna keep those people, have a phone call with them, let them know, hey, this is a new game plan. I need feedback on every deal. Keep doing solid business as we're doing, and just set those proper expectations and let them know, hey, I'm going to be sending it to you first. So you got X amount of time to get back to me, to create that urgency. And then, yeah, like I said, if it doesn't move there, then I'll send it off to the blast.
Yeah, so it's a good process within place. And so what you're telling me is that you don't like putting it on Facebook and arguing in the Facebook comments on everyone your deals. That's not fun for you.
I can't do that. I never post Facebook, man. I never do.
No, me either. Yeah, I can't. I don't know. I mean, Evan, what do you think? Do you think if people put deals on Facebook that that's just a terrible strategy in general? I think it is, but like I see that happen all the time. I see people who do deals that still do that.
I think it's a terrible method. I just think it's a chaotic method. It's a messy method. You're going to get a hell of a lot more wholesalers than you are actual buyers, and a lot of those wholesalers are not going to be that experienced because there's just there. I don't know. Like you can go into one group, there's like 50,000 people in there. Not only that, I think that could also ruin your deal if you've got an on-market deal. It's a dangerous territory to be posting in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody gets upset, takes a screenshot, sends it to the agent.
yeah,
Yep, I've had it happen. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, even not in a Facebook group, I've had like big corporations where I've sent my deals to and then they blast it out and somehow, some way it gets back to the agent. The agent sends me like a screenshot of some website and they're like, "What's going on here?" And I'm like, "Oh Lord."
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's my fear with Investor Lift too. We use Investor Lift when we do that also. We've had one person we were just on a deal for in California that had that issue too. Somebody screenshot it and sent it to the agent, and then the agent got mad at him and told him to take it down. So you got to be careful about things like that. I think that's really important, like you said, Remy, to have those relationships with your buyers, because when you're getting new buyers in, especially when you're sending a deal with someone you've never done a deal with, there's always that possibility or that thought in your head like, all right, I don't know if this person's going to close or not. But that the people that I've done deals with, they're smooth and they're consistent. That if this person takes over the assignment, I got nothing to worry about. I'm ready to go, and that's worth it. That's worth it versus having people that you have no idea whether they're gonna actually get the deal done and close or not, versus just having those relationships where you're like, all right, this deal is done no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that kind of goes back to just the management of it. Like it causes so much stress and worry and time when you assign a deal or you think you assign a deal. Either they take forever to sign the assignment, they take forever to sign or to wire the EMD, or they just never do, and
Hmm.
their communication sucks.
Yeah.
And you spent hours on hours, one, getting the deal done, saying you found a buyer, um, and then just spending a lot of time trying to manage that. Like, I don't want to deal with that. Even if that person was willing to pay 5K more, but it took 5 more hours of my time, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with the stress. I don't want to deal with the headaches. I'd rather get it gone, move to the next, and likely too, if that one person is willing to pay so much more than everybody else, I don't think they're going to close. It's possible, don't get me wrong, it's possible, but likely something is going to pop up between
Your lender.
then and now. Yeah, lender, EMD, assignment getting signed. Like, there's just so many things that go into it, that I don't know. It's just not worth the squeeze sometimes. And then they don't perform, and you got to figure out, okay, now they said they would buy it. Okay, now I owe money, EMD money to the sellers or whatever it is, and now I look stupid. It's just, it
Hmm.
ruins your reputation, your credibility,
Yeah.
and it's not worth it, in my
I
opinion.
want to go into like one of your horror stories of your dispo, a deal that gone crazy. I'll tell you mine while you think of yours. Um, we had a deal out in North Carolina that we did, where we had it assigned to a buyer. The buyer is in Brazil, and his mother lived here apparently. So he signed it. EMD was in, passed our inspection period. His mother decides it's a bad deal. He doesn't want it anymore. So they cancel on us. And then, so instead of us losing, he didn't want to lose his EMD. He goes, actually, I have a buyer for this. So if this buyer closes, can you give me my EMD back? And at this point, we're like, fine, whatever. Let's just get it done with that. This buyer is this lady, who is also a real estate agent. Going back and forth, and she says yes. She signs the contract, good to go. All of a sudden, I get a call from this other guy. He goes, I just went by the property. It needs a lot of work, and tries to negotiate with me. And I'm like, it's already assigned. Like, we're already like we don't the deal's not available. It's already assigned. He goes, okay, and he calls me back later on and tries to negotiate with me again. And I said, brother, it's signed. It's already assigned. He goes, oh yeah, that's assigned to my partner. And I'm
Mm.
like, all right, so you're partners with this person. Why are you negotiating? She already signed this contract and said we're good to go. I'm not negotiating this. We're good. Moving forward. And so we go in, a bunch of stuff, title issues, and that. They're working through a bunch of crap, and it's just a headache in general, getting communication back and forth. Then a couple of days before closing, they come back. Lender won't agree to fund it unless they come down on a price drop. And so then at that point, we had no choice but to just like, all right, I'm mad about it. I'll go ahead and do the price drop. I'm still making money on this. Not much, but whatever. We'll do the price drop, just get it done and get this deal out of our hair. Come to find out, they signed, but they didn't understand that when you sign the contract to close, that it's not actually closed yet. You got to fund it and then we got to record it. And so they sign the contract, then they go in and they gut the entire house.
Oh my God.
Yes. And so then the lawyer, who was handling the transaction in the title company, calls me and is cussing me out because what's happening right now is a federal crime.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I didn't know they were doing this. The agent is mad. Everyone's mad because it's not recorded yet. And like the event, well, thank God that it actually recorded and funded, that everything got closed on it. But that was when that deal was done. That's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, I don't care to make any money off this deal. I just want to never have this happen again. I would rather just sign to somebody for $0 that I know will close it versus making whatever I made off that deal for that headache.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I had something, I guess, similar to it. I'll touch on this, and then I have like a freaking uh, headache one. I kind of had similar thing happen. So sometimes we work with contractors that have a few investors, and
Hmm.
they do the work for them.
Hmm.
So this deal we had sent to him, and he found a buyer for it, right? But obviously there's a miscommunication between us, him, and the buyer. He thought they closed. They didn't. They did the same thing. Just started tearing stuff out, throwing stuff out. Agent found out and started cutting us out.
Yeah.
I actually got the deal from one of my investors too, so he was pretty pissed as
Yep.
well.
It's
But
crazy.
anyways, like I'll say like the biggest nightmare, and this kind of goes back to like how I'm changing my dispo model. There's this one buyer investor that he's like the only one of the biggest ones in Jacksonville that buy in the hood, and the hood
Hmm.
houses are really hard to sell.
Yeah.
Um, Around last year, so we've done quite a few deals together. You know, we probably did like three or four, and then last year, um, things got extended on two deals. He ended up not closing on them. We lost money on them. We kind of severed our relationship there. Somehow, earlier this year, we got reconnected. And you know, he's like, hey, come by, like, let's talk. I've been meaning to reach out. He apologized for everything. We spent probably an hour or two talking and just ironing everything out. We went on to close a couple more deals, so we're getting a little better. And there was just another deal that popped up that he bought it off us. We got a reduction, and then he wanted a piece of our reduction. And that right there was like a red flag, and it caused a whole argument. It caused everything to kind of just be strange and a lot of tension. It's like, well, I'm not closing if you guys don't give me X amount of dollars out of that. And his thing was that he said, I only made the deal happen for the relationship because he told me you had it at this price. So I went and bought it, you know, a couple grand higher than that. Okay, I don't fully agree with it. It's part of our process every single time. But for the relationship, I'll give you that 2 grand. Not a problem. Let's close. Let's get it done. After that, we had another conversation, probably with me, my partner, him, and his partner, probably like another 2 hours just ironing everything out. Like, yeah, man, going forward, this is what we'll do. Got a plan in place so no one feels upset, no one feels left out. Put a whole plan in place. The very next deal, which we just are dealing with right now, put it under contract. He said he would buy it. We did a package deal, so we did two deals together, just on separate things. Like, hey, I'll give you this one for this price, a little bit better deal if you buy this one off us as well. Well, he closed on this one, missed the closing date for this one. Tried to get a hold of him for like 2 weeks, ghosted me. Had to, you know, show up at his office, knock on his door, like, you live, bro? What's going on?
Hmm.
Didn't answer the door, called him, finally got a hold of him. He said, yeah, man, just dealing with some family stuff. Let's extend, I'll get you a closing date. Didn't hear back another 3 days. Had to keep calling him, and just a lot of management, a lot of time, and a lot of like emotion and just stress put on this. Uh, and me, like, I'm like, hey, man, like, I got so much hope and like relationship. I just want to build a relationship and do right by those people that I come across. And he's like, hey, I got a closing date, November 17th. Cool, let's do it. We extended it again. We extended it again. This is like a 3 month long process for this one deal. We
Okay.
extended it again. He goes the whole time. Come closing date, doesn't close. Text me like 2 days ago. He said, hey, I'm not gonna close. Brother. Just like the amount of emotions and
Yeah.
anger, like
Yeah.
nothing really gets me too angry anymore, but this started to get under my skin quite a bit. And it just goes to show, like, for dispo and for buyers, if somebody wants to close, their communication is going to be on point. They're going to be very open. They're going to be on top of it. When you call, they're going to pick up. When the assignment needs to be signed, they're going to sign. When extension needs to be happen, they're going to communicate it days prior, and they're willing to put in extra EMD. All these things, for some reason, I ignored all the things that
Red
I
flag.
go against, all the red flags, and try to make it work. But again, lesson learned, like, don't ignore those red flags, trust that, and just find somebody else. It's going to save so much more time.
Yeah. That's the good and the bad about relationships, right? There's good and bad about you build relationships with people you kind of tend to let them give them a little more leeway than you should have with people you don't have strong relationships with, and then sometimes that'll bite you.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
tough.
It's like,
Mm.
man, we spent like 10 hours just sitting down trying to come up with a game plan, all for you to do the same thing. Like,
I'm sure you feel the same way about this too. It's like it's the issue isn't necessarily like, hey, my check's not coming in yet. The issue is my reputation and what I'm having to deal with on the other side, the seller side and the agent, and how I'm stringing them along. And I'm hurting people. We're hurting people in this process. We're not like that. To me, hurts way more than whether a check's going to come in like that or not.
yeah, exactly. It's not even about the money. And at the end, he's like, I'll shoot you $1,000. It's like, I don't care about the money, brother.
Yeah.
It's the amount of time that we spent trying to figure
Yeah.
stuff out.
Yeah.
And try to build a relationship. Title did all their work, got the seller ready twice, had the seller sign twice, had the TC do all this work, all this communication, had the seller have plans for the money that she's, gonna place those funds towards and get this headache off her plate and all these things. And it's like, bro, I just want to help the seller out. I want to get everyone paid for their jobs and their duties. And it's like, yeah, it was just like, dang.
Yeah, I know. It's one thing to cancel. It's another thing to drag it on for 3
Yeah.
months and then cancel.
It's like, bro, if you don't want it, just say that.
Yeah, say in the beginning. I know.
Straight up.
Funny. We have a deal, not because of the buyer, it's the opposite side. We have a deal that's been in escrow for over a year and a half now. Yeah.
Probate?
Yeah, sort of like a probate, but it's just like the agent is just god awful, like in general. Every month she's like, "All right, we're ready to close," and then we go to the title company. Title company's like, "We're not even close to closing." And so every single month she says the same thing, and it's been just so much stuff that they have to get done. That I don't know if it's the sellers dragging their feet, if it's the agent that's not telling them what's going on, and the other title company that they brought in to try and help out with this. It's just so much crap, and like I haven't even talked to the buyer on this one yet because I was like, I don't even know what to tell you. It's been a year and a half. I'm worried to reach out to him like I don't even know about this deal. Like I forgot all about it.
Yeah.
And so at this point, it's just like I'm just crossing my fingers that before the end of the year it just pops up, or just 1 month, it's just going to be a little extra added on. So, who knows when that'll happen?
Yeah, I got a couple like that.
Fun title issues. All right, so you're in the plan now. I'm interested to know how are you going to replace yourself in this, and what does it look like when you move out of that?
Like the position.
Yes.
Um, for dispo, I think it could be created in a way where I don't have to. Sorry if that's loud.
You're good. Look, we're working people. Like you're working.
He's
We
doing
got,
deals at the same
yeah, we
time.
got a deal. You got a deal. You got doing deals and talking on the podcast at the same time. That's the life of building a wholesale company.
Indeed it is. For dispo, I don't want to move. I feel like it doesn't need to be moved out of for some time, but I do think, like I said, like the time needs to be got like brought back. So the way I plan to get myself out of managing it so much is to build those relationships, which will, I mean, the relationships are already built. It's more so of like setting the expectations again and moving them to my new system. Um, so that's what that looks like. Freeing up the time there, I'm going to take the next few weeks to set that up, have those conversations, and get that into place, and then move on to kind of like phase two of the company.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So what's phase two? Do we know yet?
Phase two, still working on the vision, but phase two is going to be calling realtors, just going the agent outreach model.
So adding new verticals into what you're doing. So right now it's JVs.
Yep.
You know, to be adding leads coming in through agents.
Yes.
Adding verticals. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to know, like, yeah, obviously expansion plans, because ours are, we're kind of going back and forth now. Do we move into a new market also? We're on 4 different markets right now, or do we add another vertical on, which is pay per click or direct to seller, things like that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing my mentor had told me is when you're ready to expand, you can either go deep or wide. It's just which way do you want to take it? Like, do you want to carry that model that you're doing to the next market, or do you want to add things into that market, like adding in cold calling, adding in PPC? Like, which way do you want to take it? Because those are the two ways to expand, and I think there's pros and cons to both. That's something that I'm between on as well. Like, do I want to? Because I know phase one, like I'm gonna do agents in Jacksonville. I'm gonna build that up, put a VA in place, pay them, $1,000. That's running, and then I can, manage. Um, and I don't know if I want to expand that model out, like duplicate that here in Tampa and do that, or if I just want to go um, deeper into
Direct to seller or something like that.
yeah, direct seller, something like that in Jacksonville. Pros and cons to both. But I also think like staying focused and being able to hire somebody for those positions is what I'm looking at. And I think that I could get down and create SOPs and trainings for agent outreach fairly easy, and then hire somebody, from overseas to pay them $800,000, whatever it is, a month. for the agent outreach. And then I think maybe I'll deploy that, like one caller in Jacksonville, then one caller in Tampa, maybe one in Orlando. And then obviously having those three people, there will need to be a manager in place, which I will be doing. And then from there, I need to free myself from that. So I'll put a manager in place. I'll do all the underwriting, negotiating, etc. And then I'll be freed up from that. And that'll be, 3 acquisitions, one manager, and I'll be out of that. It'll be kind of self-sufficient. So I think that's the model I'm going to go with, and then still do dispo. But I think along that period of time, if there's 3 markets and just me doing dispo, I think it's going to get crazy. So I think around that time, I'll probably have to work on a dispo rep as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then have like a full cycle going and then see what's next. So that's kind of the direction I'm thinking of. Could change, but that's what I'm thinking of.
That's important that it could change, because I think that businesses have to. You have to be able to adjust based off what's going on with your team, how it looks out. You're doing the similar model of what I've done, and so that's how I'm expanding now. I have 2 people who are Americans who are in my business, who've been in my business for a couple of years now. They're the last 2 American hires I'll probably have. And so we have VAs that expand, and every single time I open up a new market, we bring on a great VA to be our acquisition rep. And so they take over that market from there, do an agent outreach. Me and Eva know that it's free for the most part. I mean, obviously you pay your CRM for your texts and your calls, but other than that, you're not paying for marketing to agents. They're doing all the marketing and going out to find the deals for us, and we bring them back and close them. So it's just a matter of finding good VAs that fit in their position and make sure that they can actually get it done. They work really hard, and obviously you can protect some of your deal flow in order to expand too. Because you bring in Americans, and you're paying 20 to 25% or so off your deal on each one. If your dispo rep is a little bit lower, but for the most part, you have to take a big chunk of your deals out, and then next thing you know, you can't scale as fast or as wide because you have to give up so much of your deals, along with your software and everything else that comes in place. So that's awesome. You're doing pretty much what the method of what we chose, and it works out great.
Yeah.
For me at least.
Yeah, it's kind of what I know, and I like to, I guess, build on what I know first, because I think I get there fairly quickly in, the next 90 days or so. Because like once you have the system process, quote unquote script and just all the ins and outs of that, and for example, like in order to bring the first person on, you need to have those things in place, and if not, you're like, it's not going to do too well. But once you have those things in place, then like to bring on 2 more people to go through that proven training and system and model, it's fairly simple, right? So to kind of expand that, obviously you got to worry about dispo and other things, but to expand that, if you have all the tools and resources and training and onboarding in place, I think it should be fairly simple.
Yeah.
Compared
It's
to
just finding the right person to fit in there. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
The right talent, the right people. So
Eva, what was your first hire?
I think Sochi.
Okay, yeah.
I think it would be Sochi. She wasn't technically a hire, because it kind of just came like a, you need help, I'll help you, you help me kind of thing. So she was probably my first hire, and
What'd she
she
do?
basically did acquisitions for us.
Gotcha. Okay, you went acquisitions first. That's the first hire.
I went acquisitions first on everything at the very beginning, and I mean, if I was to do it in a different market somewhere else that I've never been in, I'm going to go dispo first now. Now knowing what I know, after building everything I built for the last, however many years, in my coaching programs, I teach dispo first. Then, like, you need 30 solid buyers is the first thing you have to do. It's like step 1 inside the training. So, like, if I was to go somewhere else, I'd go dispo first. But when I first started, it was acquisitions all the way. But then I had, like, a heavy hitter JV behind me, so.
Interesting. I think that's opposite of what I would think too, is dispo last. I don't know. For me, for a dispo person, they got to be busy, and I know calling buyers is busy, but I want them busy on deals versus anything, right? If they're overwhelmed with deals, then that's the point where or if I'm overwhelmed with deals, then I want to hire a dispo out. And I have a dispo rep now that does all our deals for us, because we have 4 different markets and we do constant deals that are going through, along with people who are sending us deals for JV also. So she does all that for us. My first hire was just someone to take over the text and the CRM. We didn't have whole tech AI taking care of CRM stuff for us. That was my first one, because that was obviously the time-consuming process of handling text with agents and saying like, "What are you looking for? Who are you? Do you want to jump on a call and talk about this?" Like, no, I don't want to jump on a call and talk about it. Let's just go and text this and get a text and get it done. So my first one was getting rid of those tasks so I can focus on closing, which I think is important. And then we started. And then I found my first acquisition hire. And then I built up from there as we grew. Dispo was probably the last thing I gave away.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I first started out, it was just, a hot mess. You don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, I didn't either. It was just I didn't have any process in place. I didn't have anything in trainings for the most part. I was
No.
just like, this is what I do. Just try and do it. And
I
then
mean, I had all the trainings and I had somewhere to go to ask all the questions, but I didn't have any software systems. We were just throwing shit at the wall, seeing what stuck, and then trying to duplicate that.
right, right. How many deals did you cancel before you got your first one, Remy?
Well, when I first started, I had worked for somebody for like 2 months. So I was just doing agent outreach stuff. But when I was solo, I think for my first one, this was heaven sent. So it was zero.
Yeah.
Literally the first not first, but maybe like the fifth agent I called. I was like, hey, you got anything, looking for my next project? She's like, I do. Actually, I already set it to be listed tomorrow. So what we'll do is go lock it up at full asking price and then negotiate it down to where you need it. That's literally what the agent said. And we did exactly that. We locked it up for like 200, retraded down to like 115, got it
Wow.
sold and made like 10K. Paid the
Wow.
agent like 5 and literally like unicorn agent. So for my
Yeah.
first deal, I was like very, very, very blessed.
Yeah.
Very blessed.
I'd say.
Are you BFFs with that agent still?
Yeah, we do some deals.
Yeah, I would
She
be.
actually was the realtor for Seth that did so Seth went to get his real estate license and she was a teacher of it. So we reconnected then as well, which is pretty cool. It was like a full circle moment. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're still in touch.
That's awesome. Eva, did you cancel a deal? You had a little bit of crap you had to go through, right? Eva went and did door knocking and bandit signs and all that stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about this last episode, or I don't. Were we even on the episode, or were we just talking? But yeah, I did first driving for dollars. Got my first deal. Didn't make much. Didn't I did bandit signs? No one ever called me. And then I went into agents, and because I had a heavy hitter JV behind me, I didn't have to cancel a lot of deals in the beginning because I was just blasting him with properties of leads. Basically, there weren't none of them were under contract, but I had talked to the agent. We were close to getting something done, but I just wanted to make sure. Okay, what are your numbers on this? Or are we close? Are we the same? What do I need to do? And then he would tell me, I go back, call all these agents, make the offers, get them under contract, and then I'd send all the contracts to him.
Mm. Yeah, I think I was lucky too. I don't think I canceled my first deal until probably about 8 or 9 in that I had closed. I got
Yeah,
very
it
lucky.
was it was after I like stopped JVing. Like when I no longer had someone backing me and I had to go find my own buyers list and I had to just kind of wild west it out there.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know to work with other people on that when I first started. I thought you just had to do it all yourself. So I mean, I just got very lucky. I mean, like I said, 8 to 10 of them I did all myself with my wife and me. And yeah, we didn't cancel one for a while. It took a while to get it canceled, which was I think is very rare for the most part. But yeah, it wasn't anything I did that was special. I just got super lucky on most of them. I think this worked out. Which and then you learn better, and you're like, all right, now I understand the market. Now I understand the numbers. Now I understand how other buyers work. What really helped me was talking to buyers. Which I get your dispo process now, or your training process, Eva, of go and find buyers first because it makes sense because it's so much easier when you're like, all right, my buyers that are gonna buy this. Now go find this
Yeah,
versus
we
just
vet
going,
them.
yeah,
But when you find the buyers too, it's going to be those ones that have properties like on market right now. So you already have something to talk to them about. Like you're not just like willy-nilly messaging them for no reason. You're like, "Hey, I really like that flip you did on blah blah blah. Are you looking for another one? I got a couple coming in the pipeline this week. Let me know."
yeah. What are you looking for? And they break it down. That's
Yeah.
what opened it up for me instead of just trying to like again just make up a number or run numbers on something like that. Just find anything. It was when I talked to buyers like, oh, that's what you're looking for. Oh, that's the numbers. That's how you're running your numbers. That's how you evaluate a property. I did that more and more, and I still do it to today. When I think a lot of people are scared to ask, but like when you send out a deal to a buyer and they don't want it, ask why.
Yeah.
It's so simple. It's like, just give me the feedback why. I want to know. And I bring it like this. I say, hey, just let me know. So next time I bring you a deal, I can bring you a better one. So just tell me the feedback on what's going on with it. Is it a bad area? You don't like this area? Is it just the numbers in general? You need a bit lower. Why do you need it lower? Like, I just start digging in. And I understand when I do deals with them next time, this is what they're looking for. Because most buyers you talk to, they're going to tell you, and like, hey, what kind of deal, what properties are you looking for? Like, just bring me anything in this area.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, really? Anything? You know?
Anything?
Yeah. You want a mobile home? No, I don't want a mobile home. Then you don't want anything, you
You
know?
want like half burnt down? No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You
All
need
right.
vibrant? Yeah. Let's dig down on what you're actually looking for. Well, look, we're over an hour here now. Remy, thank you so much for your time, man. How do people get a hold of you? How do people do JV deals with you?
I would say my Instagram probably the best. I will answer there. It's Remy. I think it's Remy 33 Group. I believe that's what it is. I just changed it recently, so.
That's all right. We'll link it on here so everybody can find you on that. So, guys, if you are looking to do deals in Jacksonville, Remy is your go-to guy. Remy is one of my go-to guys. I'll send Remy deals when we have, I get some answers back and stuff like that too. So, um,
Appreciate
I'm
that.
just scared to partner with somebody, get some deals done, get some experience first before you send Remy some deals. All right, he wants to work with you after you get some experience in there, or at least lock it up or close to lock up before you send it over to him. But for the most part, thank you, Remy. I mean, obviously, I'm excited about the growth that you've had already. I'm excited about what you're about to do on your own. I know that you got a lot of big things coming ahead of you. You're only 21 years old, like we talked about earlier. So you got so much time and
Baby.
so much left to build. And I can't wait to see what you grow out in the next 5 years. Is there anything you need to say before you roll out?
Thank you. I mean, just in general, just continue to put that hard work in. Continue to strive towards your goals because you owe it to yourself and your future family as well. So never give up. Just keep going. I'm not a genius. I just work really hard. It's kind of the case for a lot of people in the industry. So don't give up because it is tough. There are times where you're going to get your ass kicked, but just keep going. It is real. And you owe it to yourself, like I said, so just keep going.
We'll let you know. But thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate everything. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
guys.
Yeah. Thank you.